Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for the week of November 28th. We're just going to jump right in here, Aries. And in your past position, you have this Hound card. It says loyalty on it. So I feel with the Queen of Pentacles here, it's like something has been very supportive of you up until this point. This feels like, I'm getting like 1,000 messages for you as always, Aries. So, it is what it is. But I feel like for some of you, it's almost like a business or something you've been working on has been very loyal to you. Like maybe it has changed your life in some way. It could be your career as well. Or, even if you're retired, you could be working on a project or have worked on a project that has, again, like changed your life in some way. This is in the past, but it's like you're wanting, like, I feel like you're wanting more. I don't think this is in a, kind of like a greedy way or whatever you want to call it way. I just think this is wanting growth, wanting things. Yeah, you have the star here. The star is saying like you're wanting, I feel like it's not even like improvements. I just think that you're wanting to see how much you can get out of a situation. You know what I mean? It's like if you have grown your business to a certain point, I think you're thinking to yourself, what happens if I do 10 times more or, 100 times more? And like whatever this is has been very loyal, but it's almost like I just get like the tiniest bit of a lack of satisfaction in what you're doing. I don't think you're unhappy, by the way, for most of you, some of you maybe, but for most of you, I feel like you're just like saying, like, how can I get more out of the situation? For others, this could be a person coming back. And again, take this how it resonates. I do not do X-back readings, but for some of you, I do feel this could be a person coming back from the past for a small percentage of you. And I feel like, if you will know who this is because they've always been loyal to you. So if there was cheating or anything like that, that message is not for you, right? Maybe this person had to leave because they were moving or something got in the way, right? And it wasn't like another person. So if you dealt with another person, message isn't for you, right? But what I would say here is I feel like loyalty is important to you, as it is everybody in relationships. But if you're looking for new love, I feel that you could be meeting a person, Queen of Pentacles, who is very loyal. So you have the Queen of Pentacles, the Judgment card, and the Five of Swords. I feel that you have been waiting for this. It's like, it's kind of funny because I almost have the Tower popping into my head. To me, the Judgment card and the Tower is like the most powerful combination in the tarot. And to me, it represents like a major revelation, a major wake-up call. I almost feel like what you have been waiting for is that like aha moment, like a light bulb moment as far as work and business are concerned. It's like you've been trying to figure out, it's like you've been waiting for information. That's the best way I could put it, Aries. And, I feel really that this reading is quite simple. It's saying like you have to find the information on your own. I also feel that you could be waking up to a person in your life with the Queen of Pentacles. So if you're looking for love, I feel you could be attracting a person who's very resourceful and who's also, like, I'm getting something about intelligence here as well. They could be very smart. Like, whatever they do is something smart. And so definitely could be attracting a smart person here. And again, it doesn't matter that it's a queen. It could be literally any gender that you're attracting into your life at this time. You do have the Five of Swords, though. I feel like you've been hurt in the past or, that maybe some past situations have kind of gotten in the way of relationships. So you're trying to make up I feel like you're trying to, I feel like if we go like this, Five of Swords, Moon to the Page of Cups, I feel like you want to be positive about relationships, but you're also maybe not. And let's see, before I keep stuttering, let's see where this is going. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands being conflicted. I feel like you need to move forward on something in work or business. Some of you could be worried about resources, like, do I have the resources to do something? Sometimes I think in like work or business as well, it's like we're afraid if we make a change that we're going to make a mistake so big that we lose everything. And I feel like this is saying, no, you're not going to lose everything. It's kind of funny because, the Five of Wands to me is a card of taking a risk. To me, it is a card of conflict and competition, but it's also a card I call Indiana Jones. To me, it's a card of like going on some sort of crazy adventure to get like a reward or to get something that you want. With the Judgment card, you have the Three of Swords. Definitely, like I said, for a small percentage of you, I feel that there could be a person coming back from the past. But again, it was never toxic. It was never a bad thing. I feel that intuitively. For others, again, I feel like you just have gone through a breakup in the past, just in general, and it's maybe changed your opinions about love, whether positive or negative. And there's something here in the future where there's clearly a person coming in, Page of Cups, like an admirer, in the future. And it's like, I kind of feel you're kind of saying to yourself, like, what do I want here? The question is popping into my head. What you want is peace, is what I would say to you. I feel like you want peace in your life, including in a relationship. You do not want someone to interrupt your peace. With the Five of Swords, you have the Hangman. Could be a Pisces coming in for some of you. I feel like you've had like a little Pisces floating around your energy for a while. Definitely could be a new person. For others, the Hangman, I feel like you've just taken a pause as far as love is concerned in the past. Next, you have the full moon in Aquarius, and it says be real on it. Pretty much every single person has had something about the truth in this row. This is your present position, and presently we have Mars going retrograde in Gemini, and it doesn't matter where it's happening for you. I feel intuitively that this Mars retrograde is really encouraging all of us to live our own inner truth, whatever that means for you. The problem is our inner truth right now might be a little bit hard to live, because we could be fearing like judgments. We could also be fearing that we're living in two worlds, Gemini, right? So we could be fearing that people will think that we're wasting our time, or maybe we have to balance between two worlds as well, right? It's like, maybe your truth is that you have a business walking dogs, because you have this dog card at the beginning, but maybe also you have to have a job. So it's like, how do you balance the two things, and which thing has more flow is what I would say to you. And I think if you're authentic and if you move towards flow, your life is going to get a lot easier. This card says be real on it. So it's like, which is the real you? Which side is the real side, right? And how can you put more time, effort, and energy into what you're doing? You have the Eight of Pentacles, the Moon, and the Fool here. And so I feel like you're not quite sure what to do, right? You have the Moon card here. Definitely could be a Pisces, but the Moon, I feel this reading is a little bit bigger picture than just love, obviously. I feel that you are kind of working towards something, or again, you're kind of in between two worlds with this Gemini energy, and you're trying to figure out like which thing do you want to work on, or which world do you want to create. I feel the Moon is kind of saying, well, there really is no good answer with the Moon, because as I always say, the Moon, it's like normally there's the dog and the wolf, dog and coyote, whichever you prefer, then the two pillars in the background. The two pillars are kind of like a warning to the Fool, which you have the Fool right here. They are a warning to the Fool to not get off his path. They kind of represent maybe like a distraction on your path. I think that a lot of us, we work towards a goal, wish, or dream, and then we get shiny object syndrome, and we start going towards something else, right? I feel like this is saying you need to see something through to the end. I also feel like it's saying you haven't gotten everything you can out of a situation. And this is what I'm talking about right here, is the Eight of Pentacles. I think there are a lot of opportunities for all of us to turn a hobby or a passion into a business. A lot of the business experts say that you shouldn't turn a hobby or a business into your hobby or a passion into a business. But I think that's true for some people, but I don't think it's true for everyone. I mean, this is a hobby for me, right? And it's a great business. So, I don't think it's always true. But again, I feel like you need to get more like out of a situation. It kind of reminds me, I don't have any good examples, of course, but it kind of reminds me, there are plenty of people on YouTube. There was this farm channel that I was watching the other day where this guy has like several million subscribers on like a farming channel, and where he just gives off like farming advice. He probably makes more with his YouTube channel than he does his farm. But it's like, could you imagine if he didn't have the YouTube channel? He might be a struggling farmer, but instead he's like a YouTuber that happens to farm, which is his true passion, right? And so it's like he's getting more out of something that he is doing. And this Eight of Pentacles to me is saying this to you here, Aries. It's saying to me intuitively that there's like, I feel like you could get more out of the stuff that you work on. But, again, without knowing your exact situation personally, I can't give you any ideas. But what I would say is I feel if you kind of do your research, maybe there are some ideas on how you can kind of get more out of your situation. It's going to require a leap of faith. I definitely see this as a risk that you are taking. I feel a lot of you are taking bigger risks, especially when we move into 2023 as well here, Aries. I feel like you could just be taking risks to, put yourself out there more, and kind of like do things that are closer to you being real, like your real self, not caring so much what other people think. With the Eight of Pentacles, you have the Strength card. Be patient with yourself. Also, don't give up. Strength is a card of patience, and it's also a card of a daily practice as well. I always say that Strength, she's taming that lion. Traditionally, on a traditional Strength card, she's taming that lion, and that lion represents her inner critic, her inner voice, and it's like something she has to do every single day. So I feel for some of you, it's like there are some things that you've been working on every single day. You have the moon wanting to pop out there again. The moon is clearly very important for you. I feel like there's some sort of change. I'm also getting, like, side note, that there's some sort of change some of you want to make, like where you live. Maybe you're moving or traveling. It looks way better to me. Completely different environment from where you are right now is what's popping into my head intuitively. It's like if you live somewhere cold, maybe you're moving somewhere warm. But you could also be, maybe you live in the desert, you could be moving to the forest, right? I don't know. There's like some sort of difference popping into my head. With the moon card, you have the 10 of cups. Yes, you need to keep moving towards those mountains. There are mountains in the background of the moon. I always say mountains represent achievements in the tarot. So you need to move towards these mountains, these achievements, or whatever, one single goal. I feel like there's a lot of happiness coming for you. If there's new love coming in for you as well, I feel literally you will have a family with this new person. With the Fool, you have the Queen of Cups. You know, Queen of Cups is something that makes you feel good, and and that's what, I mean, this whole entire reading has basically been saying, move towards what makes you feel good. She only cares about her emotions. She cares how she feels about things, and I feel that's encouraging you to really care about how, pretty much any situation in your life makes you feel, and make sure you're only doing things that make you feel good. You have this Peace card coming up next. This is showing up in your future position. I feel like this is what you want. Like, I feel you want more peace in your life. You don't want to have to worry about so much. I feel you also want, like, people, places, and things in your life that bring you peace. I feel like you don't want necessarily just any person in your life. And we're not even talking about just love here, like business partners, friendships, like all those things. I feel like you want real people. I kind of feel a little bit exasperated here, Aries, where maybe I feel like you've just like gone through a lot of people. And I'm not saying like just in love. I'm talking about in multiple areas of your life because, maybe you attract people who are stuck, or maybe you attract people who have issues, or whatever the case may be. I feel like you want more balance. You have the Page of Cups, the Six of Pentacles, and the Eight of Swords. Six of Pentacles should be your answer to all this. If you're thinking about how people affect your life in general, Six of Pentacles says, make sure that you only give so much in your relationships, and then wait for the other person to return the favor. It's like I always say that the answer to 2022 until like 2033, I believe, is the Justice card. We should be giving to situations and then waiting for a return, right? If we're getting equal give and take, then we keep going, right? If we're not getting equal give and take from something, we stop and we either change, right? We make some sort of change. If we're dealing with a person, we communicate with them that we're not getting anything out of the situation. And if they don't change, then we leave, right? That's our answer. I always tell people that we shouldn't be paranoid freaks about this either. It's like, yeah, sometimes will you be giving more in a situation? Absolutely, right? You have to be reasonable about this, right? It's not always going to be perfectly even, but for the most part, can you give and get something back from in work, in business, all areas of your life? You have the Page of Cups here. I do feel like this is love coming in for you. It's kind of interesting because I feel like you almost don't think it's real. She is looking at that fish. And I always say on the Page of Cups that the fish, it really is in the page's imagination. It might not exist, right? And I also always say that you need to grab onto the fish, whatever it is. A lot of times I feel that the Page of Cups is something that you are imagining creating in your life. But I kind of feel with this that if this is a person, I feel like the person is a fish. Could be a Pisces, but doesn't have to be. Take it how it resonates. And I feel like you're looking at it and you're saying, like, does this even exist? Like, this type of person? It's like you almost don't believe it. You have the Eight of Swords, though, and so I feel like the Eight of Swords is saying explore the situation. If this is love, for example, Eight of Swords says you're much more free than you realize. So I kind of feel that energy of needing to, set yourself free here, Aries. But let's see what's going on here. With the Page of Cups, you have the Six of Wands. Definitely success with this person. You could be attracting a person who gets a lot of attention as well. The Six of Wands is a card of attention. There's normally like a person over here who looks jealous on the Six of Wands. And I feel that some of you could be like dealing with a person who makes you feel a little bit jealous or, something like that. But I don't think this is a bad thing. I think you could be dealing with a person who gets a lot of attention. I also feel like the both of you could be getting a lot of attention, as in maybe you're like one of those couples in the future that just it works, and so people kind of want to pay attention to you. I'm also getting something about the attention that you get, though. It's like it's interesting that you have the moon. It's almost as if, I always say the moon is temporary. Moon comes up, moon goes down, the sun comes up. The sun is attention. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Four of Pentacles. I feel like you just need to see that things can work out this way, that things can work out with equal give and take, right? And sometimes people always say to me, like, Chris, I've been doing equal give and take. And so, I'm just going to stay in this situation with this person because I know. I'm like, yeah, but, sometimes I think we get into a relationship, there's no equal give and take. And it's almost like a test from the universe. The universe is like, are you really going to stay in a situation where you're getting nothing? Or are you going to move on to something where you're actually getting something? And I do feel that for some of you. With the Eight of Swords, you have the Death card. Definitely an ending to your stuck situation. I would be trying new things, especially in business. Like, you might have some ideas. It's kind of funny because if you have a business, like, I feel like you might have some ideas where you're like, that'll never work, or that won't, people won't like it if I do this or that, right? I think those are exactly the things that are going to work for you. So don't be afraid to try new things, try different things, whatever. You have this Rose's Kiss card next. This is like a card of luck coming in for you. You can see that there is a ladybug right here. And so I feel there's like a certain amount of luck coming in for you. This is showing up in your outcome position. And so I feel like you have a very lucky outcome. And you even have the King of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups, and the Star. Are you kidding? The Star to me is a card of luck. There's definitely very lucky opportunities coming in for you here. I do almost feel like saying make a wish, but I feel this is a little bit more focused than that because you have the moon. To me, I feel like you know exactly what you're working towards. Sometimes I feel like when we make a wish, we could just be making a wish for anything. we could just be saying, I want love, right? That's very generic, very general. We could just say, I want money. This feels much more specific to me. And again, this is why right here is because you have this Seven of Cups, and you can see that she's like pointing to this one star right here on this Seven of Cups. And, normally, I personally, I like the Seven of Cups because it represents being spoiled for choice, can represent a lot of opportunity, but normally there's like good things and bad things like in the cups, right? And I feel like this is saying that, that you need to focus on like one good thing that you want in your life and make it your focus, and you will get it, plain and simple. You also have the King of Pentacles. If this is love coming in for you, I feel it's something permanent. King of Pentacles represents like a permanent connection, something that lasts for a long time. So love the King of Pentacles in love. Also love the King of Pentacles in money. Normally on a traditional King of Pentacles, he has like grapes on his cloak. And grapes in the tarot like represent something that is difficult to grow, something that requires some skill to grow, right? And so I feel for a lot of you that this could be some sort of like, there's like some skill going on here where you have a skill. And I feel the way that you're displaying the skill could be changing. It's like you could be doing something differently here. You could be putting it on YouTube. I talked about that a minute ago. But, I feel like some of you, I kind of get the vibes too. Like if you have a career, for example, that some of you could be like entering into a leadership role, but it's more like a training position is what I'm getting here. Because I keep getting something about like displaying something, meaning you're kind of like putting something out. You're teaching people how to do something. Some of you could be becoming like trainers at work. You could be becoming teachers or, something along those lines. With the King of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Wands. Definitely like more adventure. I do feel like there's more lighthearted energy here. That's what I'm getting intuitively. I'm not getting so much like the typical Knight of Wands energy. I'm getting more of this like kind of lighthearted, more adventurous type of energy. I feel like that's you. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Four of Wands, marriage. Definitely, if you are meeting a person, I feel this could lead to marriage and a family. Ten of Cups, something that lasts for a long time. And really nice equal give and take as well. And with the Star, you have the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords says something from the past is dead, done, over with. So I do feel you are kind of setting yourself free from the past. If you're not experiencing growth in your life, and sorry, my camera broke right here. You have the Eight of Swords, Death, Ten of Swords, and the Star. This, to me, number one, says you could be healing or going through a healing. But to me, it also says that if you're stuck in getting whatever your star is, again, your star is your North Star. It is the thing that you focus on that you really want in life. If you're stuck, then I would say I feel like something needs to be let go of. It could be like an insecurity with the Strength card here. It could be a limiting belief. I would be working on your limiting beliefs if I were you, Aries. But we're going to pull 3 cards now. I'm going to answer one question. So if you have a question, great. If you don't, that's fine too. I'm going to put all 3 together at the end, and I'm just going to answer it like a personalish reading. But feel free to pause now because I'm going to read these cards right now. You have the Wheel of Fortune, 10 of Pentacles, and the 5 of Wands. Damn. Number one, you started with the 5 of Wands with the Queen of Pentacles, and I was saying that the Five of Wands to me is a card I call Indiana Jones, going on some sort of crazy adventure to get your treasure. Ten of Pentacles, right here. So with the Five of Wands. So don't be afraid to go on any crazy adventures. I really feel your fortunes are changing here in a big way, Aries. And you're really focused on your Ten of Pentacles, which again, I think everyone is focused on their Ten of Pentacles really because of Uranus and Taurus. Uranus and Taurus is like freedom, and Uranus and Taurus also wants us to build things that are permanent, things that last a long time, and things that are really secure. But we have to create the security, right? We have to build the security into whatever it is that we're doing. So again, in relationships, how do you build security? Equal give and take. You make sure there's equal give and take. That's one way, right? There are many others. In business, how do you build security? There's like a million ways to diversify and like do all sorts of stuff, right? And so I feel as long as you're working on one thing, again, that might sound overwhelming, but I would just be working on one thing at a time. We have Mars retrograde, right? Mars retrograde is an amazing time to work on one thing at a time that could, lead to more security in your life, or that could change your fortunes with that Wheel of Fortune. This looks really good to me here. I do feel like some of you, again, I would be careful of a person from the past here if you're dealing with a person from the past. Five of Wands, conflict, especially with Mars retrograde. Avoid the arguments and stuff like that in the home. If you're in a relationship, I would say avoid the arguments in the home. It never ends well with Mars retrograde, so I'd definitely be careful of that. But this is a really good reading. I like where this is going. So thank you for being here, Aries. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your Sun, Moon, and Rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.